Hello and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. So this is the second part of the video where I was doing my 2024 Danmei wrap-up. That video was already pretty long, so I'm just deciding to do this one separately. I know if I stand up now, I do not know when next I am going to sit down and film a video. And since I already have everything I was going to go through right here with me, I figured I would just do this video right now. But in this video, I will basically be going over all the other series that I've acquired from other publishers that are in 7 Seas, and also go over new licenses that I am excited about. I think I'm going to go over all the licenses from 𝕬𝕬𝕬𝕬, no, not 𝕬𝕬𝕬𝕬𝕬, Rosmei, 7 Seas, and then there was a new publisher that was announced late 2024, Haitang Books. They are the ones whose licenses I am most excited for because I am familiar with most of them. But yes, I'm going to go over all of those, talk about the ones I'm most excited for, the ones I'm already kind of familiar with, and all of that stuff. So I'm going to start with 𝕬𝕬𝕬𝕬. I picked up two standalone novels from the publisher last year, and I picked those up on Amazon. When I did my video on it, someone did mention to me that those editions are probably not the original ones from the publisher themselves. And I also got to talking to a mutual on Instagram who is now a friend, actually, because I went to see her in Canada late last year. And 𝕬𝕬𝕬𝕬 has a store in Ontario, so we visited the store together. I'll see if I can insert a clip of the store when I went there to pick up some of the series that I'm going to be showing next. So I picked up 5 series while I was in the 𝕬𝕬𝕬𝕬 store. It is a beautiful store. If you do get a chance to visit Canada, Toronto, sometime in the future, definitely plan your visit around that. It is worth a drop in, and they have a bunch of titles that I'm super excited about. So I'll just start with the ones I was able to pick up. The first two I will be showing are Silent Hearts and Salad Days, both by the author 𝕬𝕬𝕬𝕬𝕬. I know I didn't say that correctly. I have read Salad Days before. I read the manhwa, but this is the novel version. And this is what it looks like. It is complete in just 2 novels, although there is a dust jacket that covers both of them in this edition that I picked up from 𝕬𝕬𝕬𝕬𝕬. So that is Salad Days. It is just a really sweet story about I believe it's a boy studying ballet and a boxer who meet when they're very young. They fall in love with each other, pursue their dreams together with barely any resistance, I think, is the critique some people have had about the story, how easily things came to them despite the dreams that they were meant to be pursuing, and how hard things should have been for them. Things came a little too easily for them, but that's not always necessary to character building and development. It's still made for a really cute and warm story. A cute and heartwarming story is what I meant to say, but yeah, that is Salad Days. And people who have read Salad Days and have also read Silent Hearts have said that in comparison, this is a story that has a little bit more depth to it. So I am really looking forward to that one. One thing I've noticed is that the back of a lot of these novels don't have a synopsis on the back of them, so I can't really tell you what they are about, although I've heard great things about this, which was one of the reasons why I picked it up. They had a bunch of series there, and I had to pick up certain ones, so yeah. I also picked up these 2 because, well, they're complete in 2 volumes, and I don't have to buy a ton of books. But those are the first 2 that I picked up. The next one that I prioritized picking up was, yep, that just fell on my tripod. Let us try to fix that angle. I think that's how it looked before. The next one I prioritized picking up was Rose and Renaissance because I am trying to do a buddy read with some friends for this one sometime this year. I'm thinking we're gonna do it maybe in March, so maybe sometime around June I should be reviewing this. I'm just kidding, I don't know. We'll see how things go. But yes, this one is complete in 4 volumes, so there's quite a bit to it, but I've heard nothing but great things about the series. 2 of the people I'll be doing the buddy read with are going to be rereading it, and one of them is going to be reading it for the 4th time. I don't know, that says a lot, especially because this person has pretty similar tastes in books to me, so I'm really excited about that buddy read and cannot wait to get into Rose and Renaissance. And the covers are just so beautiful. Definitely, I can see the difference in quality after going to the store in comparison to the copies that I picked up on Amazon, and I wish they just had a better handle of those things. I feel like 𝕬𝕬𝕬𝕬𝕬 is just a publisher that hasn't been doing a great job with their marketing. and how easily accessible some of their Danmei titles are, even though they are such good quality and some of these stories actually sound pretty interesting. So I wish they'd do a better job of that, but that is the third series, Rose and Renaissance. And the last two I have, the first one is Dawning, I believe is the title, by Ice. This is another one that I've seen a lot on Amazon, but it is complete in 3 volumes. I have no idea what it's about, again, because there is no synopsis on the back of these novels, which is a choice. I'm not sure why they decided to do that for every single one of them. It's not even just one, it's every single one of them. I don't know why they did that, but yeah, this is another one that I've heard some good things about, so I'm pretty excited to read it. So that is Dawning. And the very last one is Lip and Sword. I actually picked up this one because it's by the same author as In the Dark, which I read last year. This is also complete in 3 volumes. The author is Jin Shisi Chai. I enjoyed In the Dark and I was just curious what else they had written. This doesn't seem to be a crime setting, but I'm starting to realize that maybe I spoke too soon. Maybe it is. Again, we can't tell because there is no synopsis on the back, but that is another one that I've heard good things about and I cannot wait to get into. The last set of physical titles that I have here are not from 𝕬𝕉𝕚𝕬𝕝. These are actually from Rosmei. I'm finally starting to get some of the pre-orders from their early releases. So I have the first 3 that I pre-ordered here with me, and those are 𝕨𝕻𝔻𝕸𝕚, Coins of Destiny, and How to Survive as a Villain. So 𝕨𝕻𝔻𝕻 has to be the one that I am most excited about. It is a hardcover with a dust jacket. If you follow a lot of like Danmei content creators, you've probably seen this one going around a lot. There were people who got their copies as early as like August of last year, but mine just got delivered, I think it was in December, and Kaleidoscope of Death is going to get delivered pretty soon. I got the notification that it had shipped pretty recently, so I'm finally getting that. I think I have like 2 other sets of pre-orders that are still on the way. So that is 𝕨𝕻𝔻𝕻. This is by the same author that wrote Ballad of Sword and Wine, whose works I am very, very interested in diving into some more, but there aren't a whole lot of them that have being translated, so they're kind of hard to get into, although I'm very curious about them as a writer. And after talking to some other fans of Danmei who love and appreciate her and can read their works in other languages that they've been translated to, they have nothing but high praise for her writing in general. So I would just love nothing more than to dive into more of their works. The next one is Coins of Destiny by Priest. I think Priest is an author that is a hit or miss for most people. For the most part, they've been, I think this is Vichy actually. She has been a hit for me. I've enjoyed quite a bit of her writing, and there are a ton of them that have been licensed recently that I'm really, really curious about as well. Coins of Destiny also being one of them. So I'm really excited to get into that one. How to Survive as a Villain. I was starting to mix this up with Mistakenly Saving the Villain, but they're not the same thing. How to Survive as a Villain by 𝕬𝕬𝕬𝕬. I believe the manhwa for this was picked up by, there was that Danmei publisher that had a controversy with another Danmei publisher. I cannot remember their name right now. It came to me. I've lost it, but yes, this is the novel version published by Rosmei. So that is another one that I am excited to get into. Those are the only 3 that I have from Rosmei so far. And obviously Kaleidoscope of Death, that is also on the way. Kaleidoscope of Death has a drama adaptation, obviously, because it's a Chinese drama adaptation. There is going to be a lot of censorship in it, but from what I've been told, the drama was really, really, really good. I cannot remember the title of it, but I'm going to put it on the screen when I'm editing this video, so if anyone is curious or would just prefer that medium, you can give it a try. I have it on my list to check out eventually. I just don't get a lot of screen time these days, so I haven't quite gotten to it yet. I'm probably going to read the book before I watch it anyway, so I'm going to be prioritizing that. And now to go over the licenses from the different publishers that I'm looking forward to this year, I will start with the new publisher that was announced late 2024 because they're the ones whose licenses I am most looking forward to, and that is Haitang Books. So some of their licenses from the platform 𝕍𝕠𝕟𝕬𝕬 is A Certain Someone by 𝕬𝕠𝕟𝕬. That is 𝕨𝕨. So this is an author that I'm also very curious about. They have a lot of works that pop up in 𝕍𝕠𝕟𝕬𝕬's top 10 every single year or every time they do a ranking. So there's A Certain Someone, First Class Lawyer. I think this is also the person that wrote Global Examination, 𝕨𝕨. A lot, like even reading up about these titles and seeing the way people talk about them, people who have read about them, that have reviewed them, and I've come across their reviews, they have nothing but great things to say about this author. And I've only had a very brief introduction to the author from Global Examination. I was reading the manhwa online before it got licensed, so I dropped it in favor of reading the novel. But yeah, that is the brief introduction I've had to this author's works, and I'm just really excited to discover their range of works. So that is A Certain Someone. Then Mist, that I have talked about and is one of my top 3 favorite danmeis at the moment. I Can Do It. I am really excited about this one. It occupies another genre in comparison to what I usually read, but it was honestly one of my most fun reads of 2024. And then also Guide on How to Fail at Online Dating by the same author as I Can Do It. Then you also have Don't Pick Up Boyfriends from the Trash Bin. I'm not very familiar with this one, although I have some mutuals who are familiar with it and have enjoyed it. Then 𝕬𝕠𝕟𝕬𝕝 Also Wants to Know, which is one that I also talked about that I read last year and really enjoyed. Then you have To Marry a Demon. This is another one that I'm not familiar with, and I don't think I've read the synopsis for this one, so I'm not sure what it's about. From independent authors, you have The Approach by Larry Vagosh. I started reading this last year. They were translating it on what's the name of that platform? Chrysanthemum Garden. So this is the main story, but there are 2 characters in The Approach who get their own story in 𝕬𝕠𝕟. 𝕬𝕠𝕟 is a novel that I read in 2024 and is being licensed by Rosmei. So they're both retained by the same author and their stories are kind of connected. I've started reading The Approach, but at the time it got licensed, Chrysanthemum Garden wasn't done with the fan translation, so I haven't completed the story. But what I was able to read of it so far, I was really enjoying. And it still has that same setting. One of the main characters is a pilot, and the other one, I think, is an air traffic controller, I believe is what they were called in the story. And I just learned so much about aviation that I didn't think went into flying and landing planes. It is very interesting. I did enjoy it, or the little of it that I was able to read before it got licensed. Then the next one here is Blue Dust Trilogy. Actually, for the next 3, I do not know a whole lot about these 3. I haven't looked them up, but they are the last 3 licenses that Haitang Books has picked up. So you have Blue Dust Trilogy, Boundless Utterance, and His Highness the Fifth Prince is Still Being Deceived. The last 2, Boundless Utterance and His Highness the Fifth Prince is Still Being Deceived, were written by the same author, 𝕨𝕬𝕬𝕬. I have a feeling I butchered that, which is more than likely correct, but yes. I think my camera is about to die, so I'm gonna have to turn this off for a while, charge it, and probably come back and keep recording. But those are the Haitang book licenses, and I will be right back. Okay, I charged my camera a little bit, but I'm still going to try to blow through this as quickly as possible. Rosmei has a lot of licenses. I do not even know where to start from. I don't think this was a good idea. I already talked about How to Survive as a Villain, Nanchan, The Bat. This is not one that I'm familiar with, but it looks like their translation is complete. Or 𝕬𝕬𝕬𝕬, I'm familiar with that one. Beyond the Snowstorm, A Windborn Love. I've seen some cover designs for that as well as read up the synopsis, and I am very interested in that one. So that is one that I am more than likely going to be picking up. Then you have Love at the First Thaw, Tales of the Zijin Temple. Oh, I just noticed that they grouped their licenses by genre. So everything I just talked about are historical series. The next set of series are modern settings. So Don't You Like Me? I didn't pick that one up, but I do have a few mutuals who have picked up the first volume and enjoyed it. Everyone Loves the Cannon Fodder. I'm familiar with that one, although I don't think I'll be picking that one up. Then there's Albert from Earth. This is another one that I wasn't even aware that they picked up. I don't really know anything about it, but the translation is also 100% complete. Gold Class and Fossers, I don't know anything about that one. And 𝕬𝕠𝕟, which I mentioned is like a companion story to The Approach. I definitely will be picking up that one. It's going to be a standalone novel. It is much shorter in comparison to The Approach, and I think it's totally worth a read. It's a beautiful story. Then you have a different section for series by Pris because, of course, Coins of Destiny, I did pick up the first volume of that. The Defective, 𝕬𝕗𝕬𝕝, I do plan to pick that up, as well as Drowning Sorrows in Raging Fire. Then you have Infinite Flow series, one by 𝕬𝕼𝕬𝕝, which is Global Examination. I already talked about that. The Earth is Online. I do think I want to pick that one up. Kaleidoscope of Death, I already ordered the first volume and it should be arriving in a couple of days. Criminal series, you have Obsessed, Wine and Gone, The Killer of Killers, and some more criminal series, A Break in the Clouds, and Hunt for the Leviathan. I am not very familiar with this series, but I believe one is a prequel to the other. I can't remember which is which, and I do have it on my TBR to read eventually. Okay, my camera keeps doing something where it keeps flashing numbers of how many minutes I have left, even though I have like 30% battery. So I think I'm just gonna charge it again and wait till it's full before I come back. I am so sorry, but yes, I'm going to charge it and just come back on when it's fully charged. I hope I'm able to do that, but I'm stopping the video for a little bit again. Okay, I'm back for real this time, and I have found the culprits. It was in fact not the battery, but the fact that my SD card was full. I know, but going back to the topic of licenses, we were going over Rosmei, and I stopped at Breaking the Clouds and Hunt for the Leviathan. And I think I was talking about how those series are connected. Like, one is a prequel. I can't remember which one is which, but I am interested in both series. I did read the synopsis, and there is a friend that I have made. We love to read Danmei together, so we have a buddy reading list. Although we do more add-in to this list than actually reading off of it. So yes, these are two series that are on our buddy reading list. Then we have 𝕬𝕝 series. Don't Throw Tampons Around. Wow, I've never heard that one before. At the World's Messy, The Creator's Grace. I haven't heard about any one of this actually. General Fiction, Last of Its Kind. Manhwa series, I don't think I'm familiar with any of this. A Tale of Two Dragons, To Love a Liar, My Little Prince, Pathological Lovers, Bedtime Fairy Tales. Completed series that have been published. You're Too OP in just one volume. I didn't pick that one up, but the friend I was talking about that we read Danmei together did read it. She picked it up and she really enjoyed it. And that is the end of Rosmei's licenses. Dang, I never thought I'd see the end of it. But moving on to 7Cs. I'm just going to go through the list of their titles and try to pick out the ones that look new. After The Disabled God of War became my concubine. I started reading this last year before it got licensed actually. I think I only read about 5 chapters. It did seem interesting. I was art baited into reading this. I don't think I even knew what it was about. I just decided to give it a read because the art looked good. So I'm curious about that. Astrolable Birth. This is by 𝕬𝕬𝕬𝕝. They did pick up quite a bit of 𝕬𝕬𝕬𝕝 titles, which I'm very excited about because that is another author whose works I am very interested in doing a deep dive into. Copper Coins by 𝕬𝕼𝕬𝕬. So that is another license by this author that again I am very curious about doing a deep dive into. So I definitely will be picking that one up. 𝕤𝕠𝕔𝕚𝕒 Records. I also started reading that last year and it is definitely one of my most anticipated releases for 2025. Joyful Reunion is another one. I didn't start reading this one, but it was going to be next on my list after 𝕤𝕠𝕚𝕬𝕬 Records. Legend of Exorcism, that is another one by 𝕬𝕬𝕬𝕝 that I am very excited about. Wow, there's just so many of them. Mistakenly Saving the Villain. Now, I've heard mixed reviews about this one, but then a lot of people will tell you to hang on to like the end of the series and it will all make sense. And I'm like, if you've already pissed off readers to the point where they no longer feel like reading, but you expect them to keep reading for it to make sense at the end of the novel, that's terrible writing to me. I'm sorry. So I'm not sure if this is one I'm going to be picking up, although I am curious. The next one is My Husband and I Sleep in a Coffin. Very interesting title. River Bay Roadman's Dormitory. This is also another one by 𝕬𝕬𝕬𝕝. Run Wild 𝕬𝕬𝕬𝕝. I'm very, very, very interested in reading this one, and it is going to be released very soon. Probably in the next week or so. I think that's going to be the last release in January from Seven Seas. I already pre-ordered this, so it should be getting shipped soon. Then there is Silent Reading by Priest. This is another one that is highly anticipated on my list. I like everything that I've read about it so far, so I'm looking forward to that one. The Villain's White Halo. I don't know anything about this. These next two are by the same author, The White Cat's Divine Scratching Post and The Wife Comes First. I have read The Wife Comes First. It is a very, very sweet story, but I'm still looking forward to the official translation. There's Something Wrong with the Jeef. I don't know anything about that, and I believe we have gotten to the end of, oh, no, there's one more. 300 Years of Longing is the last one. And this is also by 𝕬𝕝. I've never heard about this title before, and it only jumped out to me because of the author. I didn't realize they had another work that was licensed by Seven Seas, but that is now the end of all of the licenses picked up by Seven Seas, Rosmei, and Haitang Books. So yeah, that was everything that I wanted to cover in this video. I think I am excited, or I'm familiar with about 50% of them. The remaining 50%, I'm just going to play it by ear, see which ones I'm interested in reading and picking up. Or I guess I'll figure it out as they get published. There's just a whole lot of them. I feel like on the Western side for Danmei, we're trying to play catch up with a lot of series that have been available to other people in other languages for quite a while, or even as fan translations for people who have been Danmei fans for a very long time. And there's just a ton to catch up with. So I hope you enjoyed watching the video. Are there any of these licenses that you are super excited about? Which ones are pretty high on your anticipated releases? Is there any one of them that you've read before that you would like to recommend that maybe I said I didn't know anything about, but you do know something about, and you can vouch for the fact that it is an amazing read? Drop whatever you have to say regarding anything that I've talked about in the comments. There was a whole lot of them, so I'm sure there has to be at least one thing that would jump at you. And whatever day you find yourself watching this, make it a great one, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!